on, baby bear. Said I'd go for a quick walk this morning. Hey, Higgins, come. I think I need to put the dog on the leash. Doesn't seem to want to obey very well this morning. Get little puppy on the leash. See if I can get this done while holding a cell phone too. That'll be accomplished for the day. Okay, we got it. Okay, little Higgins is all strapped up and we're ready to go. It's a beautiful morning. It's a bit chilly. It's around 30 degrees out here in northern Kansas. Lovely day. Hope you guys are all having a good one this Monday morning. Maybe you're at work, you had a fun time watching the Super Bowl last night, maybe. I know we did. Went to a party at a church out here. They always put on like a really great Super Bowl party. That's how we met them all 1 year ago. It's always fun to get together with friends. And out here in Kansas, of course, most people rooted for the Chiefs because they're the closest to Kansas as you can get, just across the river over there in Missouri. So that was quite a show. It was a good, close game. It's kind of rooting for Philly. I always liked their mascot, the Eagles, and I liked the movie about them, or Vince Papale from the Eagles. He was the most famous walk-on that they ever had. Pretty neat story about him overcoming adversity. Always a good thing to do. There's little Higgins getting his exercises for the day. Usually let him off the leash so he can run around, but he's not doing a good job of obeying today, so we'll just keep him on the leash so he doesn't get into a bunch of stuff he shouldn't. Thought I'd do a live on See America going one way, and then I'll do a live on Corn-Fed Life going the other way. Any of you guys trying to come up with watch hours? Doing lives is a good way to do that. Especially when you do them on a schedule. When you do a pop-up live like this one, not necessarily a lot of people will be on. That's okay. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Let you enjoy the beautiful sunshine. It's about 30 degrees, so not too warm, but not bad because it's not windy. It's always a good day when it's not windy out on the prairie. There's little pieces of glass that I like to collect while I'm out on these walks down the dirt roads. I just collect them for yard art. They come from the insulators up there on the telephone poles. They get blown down quite a bit over the years. I think those ones are, let me see, Are those clay ones? There's a bunch of clay ones that got blown down. But yeah, I think the days of the glass insulators are over. That must be some other form of non-conductive material. Couldn't tell you what. There's the moon over there. Doubt you can see it on my screen. The moon's still out. It's a half moon. It's a full sun and a half moon. You guys, were any of you guys in the blackout zone during the total eclipse of the sun? I think that was that in 2020? No, it wouldn't have been that. I think it was in either 2018 or 2019. There was a total solar eclipse over a lot of big swath of North America and the world. Pretty neat to see. Craig got to go up in the blackout zone, and he said that everything became silent once the eclipse took place, and the birds were quiet, and the animals would lay down like they were going to sleep for the night. Y'all thought it was bedtime. I love hearing the sound of birds in the morning. Very pleasant sound. State bird of Kansas is the western meadowlark, which happens to be the state bird of almost every state. So if you're ever in a trivia situation and they ask you what the state bird is, guess that one. You'll probably be right. Ground's not too muddy today. It's gotten dried out in time for another storm. Supposed to be another storm coming this week. Hopefully not. I'm so over those storm things. Our doggy just recovered from meningitis. He's on a long taper off though. It surprised me. He had prednisone steroid to treat meningitis. There's a bunch of cows because the doggy just gets an inflammatory response in its system, and then it can get meningitis. Whereas a person has to have a pathogen get into the cerebral spinal fluid, and so you have to treat that pathogen. Surprised me for dogs, no pathogen required. I think probably it was we had the farmers around. They try to keep a 300-foot barrier when they spray around our house, but you know, that stuff can drift over to where we're at, so that's probably what set him off and gave him some meningitis. It's my theory. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that in the future. But I'm sure glad to have him back and running. Get puppy. Oh, he's interested in the cows. The cows are not interested in meeting him because he looks like a little coyote. lot of times cows will act like dogs themselves, and they'll want to play and chase you around. Really neat social animal. Gotta wait for the dog to do his business. Hope you guys are having a lovely morning, or whatever time it is, wherever you're joining us from. There's a bunch of little babies bopping around low in the corn. Oh, he's found something. Here, let's try to pull him away. Good thing we have a leash. I like to see him acting like his old self. Getting into trouble left and right. Here's our cow friends in the distance. Don't want to say hi to us. I read the story about a pit bull that was dropped off as a probably 8-month-old, they said, and he joined a pack of coyotes and was able to live with the coyotes for a year. And then he started limping. So the people wanted to intervene because apparently if you're hurt, sometimes the coyotes will do you in because they don't want you slowing down the pack or whatever. I don't know why. So they intervened and scooped him up, and he was a very friendly dog. He makes somebody a good pet. I thought that was something else, that he joined the coyote pack. He was known as the Ghost. He was a white pit bull. But yeah, you can see coyote in this guy. Actually, this guy is a Shiba Inu. So it comes from the Japanese wolf. And then the other part is a healer, which comes from the dingo in Australia. Flip this over here. See, there's some trees in Kansas. That's where all the birdies have flocked to, this little group of trees. I think there's a creek there that sometimes fills up, so we have a lot of bird life around there. This guy sure likes to chase the birds. Sometimes we see pheasant over there too. There's much more of those beautiful male pheasants than female out here because they farm them and then they set them out into the wild so that hunters can shoot them. And so there's a whole bunch of male pheasants roaming the countryside and just a little bit of females. You see them every once in a while. So when we come to the line of trees, we know that we have walked half a mile. I like how the roads are set out here. They're set out in 1 mile grids. So it's not easy to get lost, even though I think I could probably do it. Love the sound of those birds. So pretty. The pheasant that I was talking about sounds like a chicken. It's pretty funny sounding. A whole bunch of groups of birds. I did see a lot of eagles hunting the other day. So these little birds are happy because they're allowed to be out there and eating their corn and their insects. instead of hiding from the hawks and the eagles. Have a bald eagle that hangs around out here. I've seen a golden eagles out here too. It's just strange. You wouldn't think that eagles would be in places without cliff sides, but they do tend to be out here. They like the lake a lot. There's a big old lake out there to the west of me. And a lot of eagles hang out there. Our friends showed us some pictures of them, and there was about 30 bald eagles just hanging out on the ice. Something really cool to see. You think I'll make it all the way for a mile? Once I make it to a mile, then I think I'll put the live up under Corn-Fed Life. So we need to get watch hours on Corn-Fed Life to get monetized. That's our other fun channel. It's mainly about traveling in the Midwest. There's lots of places to see out here in the Midwest because there is not, it doesn't look homogenized out here. I'll put it that way. You have all these little bitty towns and they're all quite different. And they all like to have fun events. Like there's a place up in South Dakota called Centerville, and they like to have a toilet race where they scoot their toilets on wheels along with plungers and scoot down the road that way. I guess you have to come up with creative ways of making your entertainment out here. When there's a big storm, though, that's plenty entertaining. We have never seen such large storms before. Oh. Dog found something to mark. Okay, let's head on our way. It's supposed to get nice and warm up into the 60s today. It's not too bad right now. My fingers are still intact. They're not frozen. My husband and I, we would take our little Honda Recuses. They're little tough scooters that are good for off-roading. And we would take the back roads in Oregon, mostly the Coos Bay Wagon Road, and go the back way to the coast. That was so much fun. But I do remember not having warm enough gloves for when we came home at night and my fingers just being freezing. That is a bad feeling. But that is one of my better memories, is taking those little Recuses over to the coast. I hear an airplane. Don't know where it's coming from though. There's a lot of airplanes flying over. And towards sunset, you can really pick up on their exhaust tails. Some people call them chemtrails. But as the sky grows orange, you can really see how many airplanes are flying over. It's quite a few. somebody pointed out to me the other day that although this is known as flyover country, this is like one of the birthplaces of flight. Used to be quite the aviation center in Wichita. We did go to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, and that was amazing. Keep going. Almost there. Gotta go 1 whole mile. Get a little bit of exercise in. That's the problem with the winter, is that it's harder to exercise and it's easier to get good food. During the holidays, everybody wants to bombard you with some good food. Okay, just getting untangled from the puppy dog. He's done a lot better on his leash nowadays. Usually he likes to pull quite a bit. But now he's over that. Sure glad that he recovered, because he's been such a special dog. He's the smartest dog I've ever had. And he has a good personality too, to boot. We were thinking about, we got 2 of his sisters, and we were thinking about keeping one of the females. But then we learned that the Shiba male is quite a lot more obedient than the female, and doesn't tend to be a runner like the Shiba female does. But I remember what his sister, the first one that we got, was just unbelievable. She was so smart. I could teach her how to use the doggy door in a couple minutes. And she was only about 4 weeks old. We got them way too early when they're not supposed to be adopted out. So we had to give them yogurt for their tummies to cultivate their little tummy cultures. And she was so smart. I could even teach her fetch at that age as well. She's unbelievable. But as she got older, she showed some aggression towards the kitty cat. And that is like the worst thing you can do in our household, is show aggression towards the kitty cat. The kitty cat is queen. So we couldn't keep her. We kept the little boy instead. We were going to keep the 2 of them, because we've seen some people with a set of Shibas, and they're just beautiful dogs. But we figured, for us, I think raising one puppy is enough effort. Even though we did have a lot of fun. We had the 3 puppies all together for a couple of weeks there. Well, when did we, oh, maybe about a month then, because I don't think we adopted them out until they were 8 months, or 8 weeks, I'm sorry. Yeah. But it was funny because we gave them to virtually the same person. A lot of people like the Shiba Inu over on the West Coast. And so yeah, they were clamoring to get one of these puppies, even a mixed Shiba, because the purebred is a fussy dog, really hard to take care of, and also very, very expensive. So even a mixed Shiba would go for over $1,000. We sold them for $800 each, and they were really beating down our doors to get them. But we ended up selling one puppy to a family with this pretty blonde lady who was the mom with long blonde hair, and she had a few kids and nice little family. And we sold the other one to virtually the same person. She was like a thin, tall blonde lady with long blonde hair, and had kind of a similar situation. I guess those are the type of people that like the Shibas. But I think they both went to a good home. She's good. There's some shady people that also wanted the puppy. So I'm glad that we did our due diligence to not put an animal in a bad situation. He's been pretty easy to train. It was kind of hard when he was younger because they're so exuberant when they're young. Hard to teach him to calm down, especially around my mom, who's a pretty old lady. So it wasn't safe for him to be around her at first because he would like to jump up, and we didn't want him pushing her over. We almost made it a mile. Gotta keep going, but we gotta sniff the mud first before we get there. So much information you could get from the scent of mud. Come on, honey. Almost there. I guess we're not gonna quite make it. He doesn't want to make it to the 1 mile mark. It's nice, peaceful farmland out here. When it's not harvest time. When it's harvest time, that's a different story. Alrighty. We made it to the 1 mile mark. So I'm gonna switch over to our other channel, try to get watch hours for Corn-Fed Life. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I appreciate it, and you guys have a wonderful day. God bless you.